The eugenics movement was adopted by the Nazi Party as a means to maintain and establish an Aryan race. Children and adults who were labelled handicapped or disabled were the main sufferers of the forthcoming euthanasia programs. These euthanasia programs commenced in 1939 as Hitler ordered the rotation of propaganda to Germany, referring to the sick and suffering as useless eaters and life unworthy of life. The vast amount of physicians that were enlisted to assist in the euthanasia programs were extremely vast. Physician membership were higher in the Nazi Party than any other profession. In fact, 45% of memberships were physicians. The SS were also attracted to physicians as they wished to attract established professionals. In return for a physician's assistance, they were provided with opportunities for power and advancements in their own careers. The Nazi Party wished to enlist the help of these physicians for not only their assistance in the Akaton T4 programs, but for preparations in the future death camps and selections. The moral and ethical predicaments were of a grand scale, and they would need elite professionals to become comfortable with such processes. Two of the killing methods used in the children's euthanasia programs were starvation and lethal amounts of prescription drugs. However, the doctors began to struggle acquiring such large quantities of medicine. It is around this time that the process of other killing methods were being discussed. The SS soon got involved and were able to supply poisons. It could be argued that this trial and error process and subsequent involvement of the SS in mass killing techniques was simply a testing ground for the future extermination of the Jews. The adult program, commonly known as Akaton T4, was an idea that spawned directly from Hitler himself. There was yet another trial and error process being used here, as Hitler first ordered the SS to mass shoot mental patients, before gassing was introduced as a cleaner method. The process of selection was also introduced here, with anyone fit to work and could somehow benefit the economic struggle was spared. This motivation for selection, as we know, was also used throughout the death camps. Methods of how patients and victims would be transported were also planned at this stage, something that would prove to be beneficial in calming the victims and not creating chaos and disquiet. Operation Reinhard solely targeted Polish Jews and was a means to transport over 2 million Jews to various camps, such as Treblinka. Beginning from the 6,000 children killed in the early euthanasia programs to more than 200,000 in the Akaton T4, Operation Reinhard was the beginning of the end and could perhaps be seen as a prototype for future programs in Auschwitz. Academic Karl Kessler asked the question, what led to the participation of so many German physicians in carrying out some of the worst barbarities of the Nazi regime? Kessler then answers that this was because Nazi ideology was fundamentally a racial ideology, rather than a political or nationalistic ideology. It is known that many of the doctors and nurses who participated in the Akaton T4 program were involved in later extermination camps. It would be unrealistic to not see the similarities in programs Akaton T4 and the Reinhard operation, specifically when it comes to the methods in which killings were undertaken and hidden from the general population. For the despicable supposed mercy killings that were aimed at handicapped children, there is a clear argument for the testing process in which their deaths were carried out. Was it simply a situation motivated by the eugenics debate? Or was it a practice run for bigger things to come?